If you have ever had to fill a decent-sized room with sound without wanting to take out a second mortgage on your gear, you have probably stumbled across these dual 15-inch monsters. They are big, they are heavy, and they definitely do not try to hide what they are. When you first get your hands on these, the first thing you notice is that they are built like a tank. We are talking about 3/4-inch MDF wood, not some cheap plastic that rattles the moment you turn the gain up. It feels solid, and those steel handles are a lifesaver because, honestly, moving these things around is a two-person job unless you really enjoy back pain. What makes this setup interesting is the dual 15-inch driver configuration. Most people look at that and just see raw power, but it is really about how they handle the low end. Because of that edge-wound ribbon voice coil design, you get a lot more efficiency than you would with standard round wire. It means the speaker is not just loud, it is actually pushing air in a way that feels punchy rather than muddy. You get that 2,000-watt peak rating, but the real sweet spot is keeping your amp somewhere in that 250 to 500-watt range. If you push them too hard with a massive power plant, you might find the limits of the high-frequency driver, which is a 1-inch polymer unit. It does a surprisingly good job of keeping vocals crisp, but it is not going to give you that ultra-refined, studio monitor sparkle. That is not what this is for, though. This is a workhorse for DJs and live bands who need to be heard over a crowd. The crossover network is actually pretty clever here. It manages the transition between those big woofers and the tweeter, so you do not get that weird, hollow gap in the middle frequencies that plagues a lot of cheaper PA gear. It sounds cohesive, which is a relief. Now, if there is a downside, it is the weight and the footprint. You are going to need a decent-sized vehicle to haul a pair of these, and they are not exactly subtle in a small venue. Also, since they are passive, you are tethered to an external amplifier, which adds another layer of setup time. You have to be okay with running cables and managing your own power distribution. But look, for the price point, you are getting a serious piece of professional-grade equipment that is backed by a solid warranty, provided you go through an authorized dealer. It is not trying to be a high-end line array system for a stadium, but for weddings, local gigs, or a permanent install in a club, it hits that perfect middle ground. It is reliable, it is loud, and it is built to survive the kind of abuse that happens when you are loading in and out at 2 in the morning. If you need something that just works every single time you plug it in, this is a pretty tough one to beat.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.